Most ServSafe students memorize the right answer, but fail to understand why the other answers are wrong. You see, that's the difference between passing and failing. And in this session, I'm going to teach you how to eliminate wrong answers with real kitchen logic, like a chef would, and then walk you into the right answer with confidence. Let's dive into Chapter 2 and the style questions from the Food Protection Manager exam. Before we dive into how to work backwards to find the correct answer, take a moment to carefully read the question along with the multiple choice options. I'll give you a moment to do that, and then we'll break it down together so that you can better understand the question and confidently identify the right response. Question 16. What are the most common symptoms of a foodborne illness? A and B sound reasonable. Dizziness and headache are general signs of illness, but they're not flagged by the Food Drug Administration, the FDA, as a major foodborne illness symptom. D includes tiredness, which is vague and could apply to anything from hunger to sleep loss, but it's not food specific or foodborne illness specific. The correct answer is C. The key symptoms here is jaundice, which is yellowing of the skin or eyes. That's a critical sign that it's tied to hepatitis A, which is a serious foodborne virus. And the Centers for Disease Control, the CDC, and the FDA, the Food Drug Administration, called jaundice a reportable symptom, which means you must take action if a food handler shows signs of this. Before we dive into how to work backwards to find the correct answer to these already complex and sometimes intentionally tricky questions, take a moment to carefully read both the question and all the multiple choice options. Moving on to question 17. How does most contamination of food happen? A is more common in developing countries with untreated water, not your typical food service setup in the United States. B sounds a bit dramatic, but airborne contamination is rare in controlled kitchen environments. D, well, it's too narrow and misleading. Yes, raw meat can be dangerous, but it's more about how people handle that meat that cause the issue. So the correct answer here is C. People are the number one source of any food contamination. Let me say that again. People are the source of a food contamination. We sneeze, we forget to wash our hands. We wear dirty aprons. We're the weak link, and we don't even know it. And training your team as a manager to follow hygiene and single-use glove use and safe food practices is your first defense in preventing the spread of this illness. Before we dive into how to work backwards to find the correct answer to these already complex and sometimes intentionally tricky questions, take a moment to carefully read both the question and all the multiple choice options. Question 18. What is the most important way to prevent a foodborne illness from bacteria? B is critical for avoiding allergens and viruses, but bacteria multiply with time and warmth. Cross-contamination doesn't grow bacteria, it just moves it from one surface to the next. C is key for viruses, but not bacteria. And D helps reduce surface level risks, but it won't stop bacteria already multiplying inside food. So the correct answer is A. Bacteria thrive in the temperature danger zone. And if you've been studying ServSafe or you've gone through the 7th edition or have taken the opportunity to search for this in my YouTube shorts, you'll know that the temperature danger zone is between 41 degrees Fahrenheit and 135 degrees Fahrenheit. And what that simply means is that anything in between that area is where bacteria will thrive and multiply and grow to dangerous levels, enough to get someone sick, put them in the hospital, and or potentially kill them. So the longer that food stays in that temperature danger zone, the more bacteria grows. Controlling time and temperature, especially during the cooling process or the reheating process and or the hot and cold holding process, is your best move to preventing this. Hey, if you're getting value out of today's content, one of the best ways to help us continue to promote this content through the YouTube algorithm is to hit that like button. And of course, if you've got any questions in the comments down below, we love responding, we love reading, we love seeing what you guys are asking and what you're learning. And tell us, what do you want to see next on the next video? What are topics that you want to learn more about? I also want to encourage you to check out the description for any additional notes. But let's get back to it. Question 19. What is the most important way to prevent a foodborne illness from viruses? You see, A is great for bacteria, but not viruses. Viruses don't multiply in food. Option B and D help reduce spread, but won't stop something like norovirus or hepatitis A from reaching food if hands aren't clean. The correct answer is C. Personal hygiene is the gold standard for virus control. Viruses are transferred by people, not by time or temperature. One sick employee who didn't wash their hands after the bathroom can infect a whole tray of sandwiches. Question 20. Parasites are commonly linked with what type of food? Hey, just a quick and friendly reminder, you have 20 seconds in between each repeated question to study it, try to guess it, before I help you back into the correct answer. Parasites are commonly linked with what type of food? A and D aren't parasite carriers in this context. Rice can cause bacteria growth, but not parasites. B is linked to salmonella, not parasites. So the answer here is C. Parasites are most often found in raw or uncooked or undercooked seafood, like sushi, ceviche. Always verify that your fish supplier follows parasite destruction protocols if you're serving raw items. You might have seen this advisory posted inside a restaurant or on the menus, and I guarantee you next time you go out to eat, it's going to be somewhere on almost every menu because it prevents a lawsuit. But it is the consumer advisory notice, which says consuming raw or undercooked meat, poultry, seafood, shellfish, egg, or any product containing these raw or undercooked food items may increase the risk of foodborne illness, especially if you have certain medical conditions. So it's important that you pay attention to these things because they appear. And as a manager, you need to be aware of them, but you also need to know how to prevent them. Question 21. A guest had a reversal of hot and cold sensations after eating seafood. What most likely caused this illness? A would cause digestive issues, not temperature confusion. B might include swelling or rashing, not sensory changes. D might cause nausea or burns, but not this neurological reaction. So the answer here is C, biological toxins. Remember, Chapter 1 of ServSafe, which, by the way, Chapter 1 of any chapter on this channel is free for you to completely preview, but we learned in Chapter 1 that there are 3 ways food becomes contaminated: physical, biological, and do you know the next one? Chemical. That's correct. So a biological contamination or a toxin caused this exact symptom. It's a marine toxin found in fish like barracuda or snapper. You can't cook it out, so your supplier's sourcing and handling are critical. That's why ServSafe teaches, if you recall, that we must buy from approved, reputable suppliers when purchasing anything food or chemical related for culinary or food service operations. Hey, just a quick side note. We have a lot of new people that come to this channel often, and I just want to let you know that we have a complete private members-only community where you can access all the private members community videos. They'll be marked as private members or members only. And this is a great way for you to connect with fellow peers, network with them. We even have the option for you to network in a community on our Facebook page, which is a private invite only. So if you're looking to get into the industry, and if I can just share from a chef's perspective, it's all about who you know in the industry. And if you can get onto this private Facebook page, I can tell you that you're going to meet a lot of different people that could potentially open up opportunities for you in the future. So there's a lot of value that goes into the content that is marked members only. So consider checking out our memberships. You can cancel anytime, and we've just recently, probably the last year, lowered the prices. So we wanted to make it more accessible and to offer a way for you guys to support our community so we can continue to grow and create new and additional content. And it's just a great way to get involved and plugged in with the community. So consider checking out memberships. You can click on the join button on the home page. Question 22. A prep cook stores a bottle of sanitizer on a shelf above a prep table. What should be done differently? B is a sanitation hazard. You're not risking floor contamination. C is completely unsafe and can easily lead to spills or splash contamination. D is literally placing chemicals with food. Absolutely not okay, right? 3 ways food becomes contaminant. We just talked about biological toxins and contamination. Here's your second one, chemical. And then obviously, chapter 1, you learn about the third one, which is physical. But sticking to our wrong and right answers here, we got to make sure that we understand that D is never okay. So the correct answer here is A. Chemicals like sanitizer must be stored in designated areas away from food and prep surfaces. Ladies and gentlemen, that will appear on every ServSafe exam. I've taken this test so many times. I've seen that question pop up multiple times on the test throughout the years of renewing my certification, and also knowing that teaching this information and being a certified instructor for ServSafe, it will appear on the test. So make sure you study that one. Feel free to go back and review it. Even a small drip can contaminate food and cause an illness. Let's move on to question 23. To prevent deliberate contamination of food, a manager should, let's take a look at the answers here. A, B, C, or D. Which one is it? Well, A, B, and C are all valid tasks, but don't directly prevent intentional contamination. They're administrative, not preventative. The correct answer here is D. The question is about food defense, or the food safety acronym found in the 7th edition ServSafe textbook, which is towards the back of the chapters. Don't quote me, I think it's 8, 9, or 10, where it talks about the alert protocols. And the alert protocols remind you to control who enters your operation and what kind of access they have. Knowing who to call if something seems off could prevent a major health threat. You're doing very well here. We got 2 more questions to go through. I hope you're getting value out of today's content. There's a lot that goes into the creation of these videos. And again, if this video takes off, we're going to be formatting the remaining chapters or questions, or, ServSafe with Clarity is going to have more than 5 questions per video. So question 24. What should food handlers do to prevent allergens from being transferred to food? B might kill the bacteria, but not all allergens. You can't cook out peanut residue. C is temperature safety. It's not an allergen safety. D has nothing to do with allergens at all. It's chemical storage. So the answer must be A. And the reason it's the correct answer is because cross-contact is an allergen transfer from one surface to another. Cross-contamination, not to be confused, okay? Cross-contamination is the transfer of bacteria from one surface to another. Cross-contact is the allergen transfer from one surface to another. Don't confuse the two. They mean two different things. One is food and bacteria related. One is strictly prohibited to the allergen sources, and that is cross-contact here in the answer. Always sanitize prep areas, cutting boards, and tools before preparing an allergen-free meal. And we've made it to our final question. Question 25. What steps should be taken if a manager suspects a foodborne illness outbreak? This one will appear on ServSafe, so please make sure you study it and review it. A is risky. If the food is already made someone sick, cooking it won't fix it. A lot of people think that if we just reheat the food, it's going to kill off the bacteria. No, folks, if the bacteria is there, it's there. There's no cooking it out. B and C are red flags. They lack of transparency, can make things worse legally and ethically. So the correct answer here, your final correct answer for this video, is going to be D. If you suspect contaminated food, preserve it as evidence. Don't throw it away or serve it. Label it clearly and notify the authorities. There's a great YouTube short you can check out. It talks about recalls and things like that, how to properly put food to the side, and what you should clearly write on the label for your employers to employees to know what not to do or what not to use. But it is a test. It is a test question. It has popped up multiple times from what I've heard from other students. So make sure you study it, okay? Label it clearly. Notify the authorities. This protects your guests. It protects your operation from further harm. Hey, guys, I really enjoyed taking the time to spend time going through these 10 questions with you. I hope you got value. Hit the like button, consider subscribing, and remember, check out memberships if you want to dive deeper. I'll see you on the next video. Thank you for watching. If our channel or videos have been valuable to you in your journey, whether for passing your manager industry certification exam or providing encouragement along the way, we'd love to hear directly from you. Please feel free to share your story with us at fse.instructor@gmail.com. If you found value in this content, please hit that like button. Only a small percentage of our subscribers have enabled all notifications, which helps you stay informed about new content, updates, and changes to our channel. Consider turning this on so you never miss the latest insights. Interestingly, 79% of our views come from viewers who are not yet subscribed. You can help grow our community and support more learners by subscribing today. For those looking for additional resources, we offer a complete study and review guide, organized chapter by chapter to enhance your learning alongside these videos. All Pro Safety Manager members can access this guide on our community tab.